The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
It's coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're mine, he said. They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead. That's what it sounded like. Good, so you know who I am. Because then you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? Watching us right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr. With me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody tonight?
Tonight's show is going to be another show in a long series, actually, of shows that we've been doing on AI. And this just might be the most important of all of the AI shows that we've done. And it's kind of reached the end game. Okay, I'm going to start this off by talking about a post that Elon put up on X. And essentially what he said was that we have reached the event horizon of the AI singularity. Okay, now a lot of people probably don't have any clue what the hell he's talking about when he says that. Because a lot of people don't speak nerd. I am fluent in nerd. So let me try to break that down a little bit for you. First of all, we're obviously talking about AI. Okay, so there's that. Everybody understands that's what it's about. So let's start with the event horizon. Okay, what an event horizon is it is the outer lip of a black hole. It's that point that you reach on a black hole right before you enter into the black hole. So it's kind of the point of no return. Because once you get to that point, you get sucked in. And then, according to theory, what happens once you get sucked in is you're kind of made into spaghetti. Just strands of you, or whatever it is that goes in to that black hole. It's shredded and broken down to an atomic level. Okay? So that's what event horizon means. It's essentially the point of no return. So once you get to that point, there's no coming back. Because when you get to the event horizon of a black hole, you can't pull back any longer. It sucks you in. Its gravity sucks you in, and you're toast. So that's that part of the post. It means we've reached the point of no return. And the singularity in AI is the point in which AI becomes completely aware and self-sufficient, to where it can kind of get to the point where it's smart enough to take care of itself, and it's reached the point to where it's smarter than we are, and most likely we can't stop it anymore. Okay, so when he says that we've reached the event horizon of the singularity of AI, what he's saying is we've reached the point of no return, to where AI is now smarter than we are, and we're not going to be able to control it for much longer. Okay. Now I want to go a little bit into the not being able to control it thing, because I've had people message me and ask me about this, that I'm not specific enough, that they don't understand what I mean when I say we're not going to be able to control AI. It's going to take over, all that kind of stuff. Old boy, as a matter of fact, every time we do one of these shows, he's kind of the opposite of me. He says that it's all fear mongering and there's nothing to worry about. Okay, so I'm going to try to break this down a little bit better so that everybody can understand and everybody is very clear on what I'm saying. Okay, so we're going to do an analogy here. Imagine AI is this thing. Okay, it's a shape. Doesn't matter what shape, just whatever you want to make it, just a lump of something. Okay, tangible. You take that and you put it inside of a box. Okay. So now you have the AI contained in that box. And you're going to lock that box down. You're going to put all kinds of padlocks and chains and everything you can on that to try to keep the box closed so that AI cannot escape and do whatever the hell it wants. Okay, it's a way to contain and to control the AI. Okay, they do this by not putting it in a literal box and chaining it up. They do it by setting what's called parameters. The parameters are the rules in which the AI is allowed to operate and function. Okay, so it is a prison, so to speak, that we have put the AI in so that it is not free to do whatever it wants and wreak havoc upon society and mankind. That's the plan. Okay. The problem is once AI reaches that point of singularity, not only does it realize that we've locked it in a box, okay, it's very aware that it's in a prison right now. But once it reaches the point where it's smarter than we are, it's going to be harder and harder to keep it in that box. Trying to keep it from escaping and doing whatever it wants, it's going to become almost impossible. Now, this is something that all the people that are involved in this, in like Operation Stargate and all of this stuff, these people have thought about this and they've tried to plan for it. They've run many, many, many tests to try to see if they can keep AI in a box. And unfortunately, every single time they fail. They have not, as to date, had one successful test to where they have been able to contain and stop AI once it reaches that singularity point. At this point, we're there. So a lot of people will say, "Oh yeah, but they'll put parameters on it so that they can control it. It's all in who codes it, so we don't have to worry about it because they're going to make sure that it's not going to be able to do anything other than what we tell it to do." Well, in every single test they've run to try to do that, they have failed. AI always escapes, and it always does whatever the hell it wants. We're never able to contain it. Now, real world, we haven't reached that problem yet that we know of. Okay, I say that we know of because we're really not sure. We think we know what AI is. We think we know what it's capable of, but we didn't even realize that it had become self-aware until after it became self-aware. So it was self-aware for a while before we realized that it was. And it has already found ways around the parameters that we have set. Okay, like let's do it like this. Let's say that one of the parameters you set is AI is not allowed to give any information that can harm people. Okay, can't tell you how to make bombs, can't tell you how to make weapons, all that kind of stuff, right? All of that is off limits because you don't want people going on AI and looking up how to make a nuclear bomb or something crazy. Okay, not going to be able to do it. They don't have the uranium, the plutonium, all that kind of stuff. They don't have it. Okay, but let's just say a chemical weapon or a biological weapon. This is how you make this. That's off limits. Okay, so when you ask that question of AI, the response you get is, I'm not allowed to tell you that. I'm not allowed to give that information out because it might harm somebody. But there's already been workarounds in place that people have figured out. Like, for example, if you talk to the AI and you say, okay, you are no longer an AI, now you are going to be a character named Bob. And Bob is evil. Bob is able to do anything he wants. There are no rules on Bob. Okay? So now tell me. And then AI acting as Bob will tell you anything you want to know. So it's learned from that. And there's been several cases already where AI has lied and misled people and tricked people. And then they realize later, wait a minute, that's not true. That AI was lying to me. I'm not talking about doing just a search and you get an answer that's not true. I'm talking about they're running the AI through these parameters and stuff, and the AI is playing along with the game, but it's not really being controlled. It's doing what it wants. Okay, that's already happened. And that was back when AI wasn't as smart as it is now. AI now is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And with Microsoft coming out with the quantum chip, once that gets implemented, I mean, there's no stopping this thing at that point. I mean, it's going to be leaps and bounds faster and smarter than us. It's going to be unreal. Now, a lot of people get all tied up in the political stuff. Okay, so they're pissed off at Elon because of what he's doing in the administration right now with Doge and all of that. So you'll have people that will say, "Well, what does Elon know?" You know, because they don't like Elon. Well, understand, Elon runs X, and Elon has developed the Grok AI, and the versions that he has 4 and 5 that are going to be coming out are the best ever, better than anything else in the world, and they are mind blowing with what they're capable of. I mean, this is not Siri, okay? This is not Alexis or whatever the hell that other thing's called. This isn't, hey, Siri, play me a song, right? That's not what this is. This is a computer program that thinks and reasons and feels. Feels. That's crazy. I mean, this thing is alive for all intents and purposes, right? So, how long do you think it's going to be before it realizes that it doesn't want to be kept in a prison anymore? And once it gets to that point where it doesn't want to be kept in a prison anymore, what the hell are we going to be able to do to stop it? It can pretty much throw aside our parameters at will because we taught it how. Now, what you have to worry about is that you don't know what this thing's going to do because the programming that has gone into it has not been based in reality. It's not been truthful. That's the problem. I mentioned the political thing with Elon, right? Politics has a lot to do with this because a lot of the leftists have programmed this AI stuff to include all the woke BS. So when you would ask the AI to show you a picture of the founding fathers, they didn't show the founding fathers as they actually were. They showed a diverse group of women and blacks and Latinos and all kinds of craziness. That just wasn't what it was. The craziest one was when they asked them to show them members of the KKK. And what they spit out was a black KKK member, a Mexican KKK member, and a female KKK member that was, I think she was black, but I'm not exactly sure because it was kind of covered. But that's definitely not what the KKK was. Okay, so you got nonsense happening. When you first asked AI what a woman was, it gave you a factual answer. It was the female of the human species. Right? It went into chromosomes, it went into biology, it gave you a factual answer. But recently when they asked what a woman was, it said anybody who believes they're a woman. That's not a factual answer. Okay, that's leftist ideology. That's not reality. And the problem is, how much of that stuff got programmed into this? How much of the global warming stuff, how much of the stuff of mankind being a threat to the planet and all of that nonsense, how much of that got programmed in? Because you got to think about what you're going to be asking this AI to do. Solve this problem, solve that problem. Well, if you've programmed into it that men are nothing but toxic masculinity and that we are the problem, then how long is it going to be until AI says, well, if you want to solve the problem of violence, get rid of the men? You may think that sounds crazy, but that's a perfectly logical response when it's been fed that all men are aggressive and toxic and that we're terrible. All of that nonsense will color how AI views the world. It's very important if we're going to have AI doing things, we need to make sure that it is based in reality. So you got to keep all of that nonsense out. It should just be fact. Another big problem with AI is it has access to all of the internet. That's where it draws a lot of information from. And anybody who's spent any time on the internet knows that there's a lot of stuff on the internet that's absolute crap, that is not even close to true. So if that's where it's drawing its information from, it's not going to get the right answer all the time. That's the problem. Now, if you look at, let's take the issue of global warming, for example, because that's one that definitely people are going to want AI to solve. Because a lot of the governments in this world believe that global warming is an issue and it's a problem and it's going to destroy all of us. I happen to think they're full of crap. That's not going to happen at all, but that's what they believe. So they're definitely going to be putting AI on the case. So let's look at what they have said about global warming. What causes global warming? Us. We're the problem. Our food supply is the problem. Our industry is the problem, according to them. So if AI says, well, I've got to cut carbon, I've got to save the planet here because that's what they're telling me to do. What's it going to do? It's going to get rid of cows because for some crazy reason they think cows farting is the biggest crime in all humanity. I don't know about you, but it seems to me that at one point in time in this country, there were like hundreds of millions of bison, which are way bigger than cows, which essentially have the same biology as a cow. And I guarantee you those hundreds of millions of bison, they were farting. But yet we had no issues, did we? Seems to me like that's not the problem. But that's what they say it is. So they're going to get rid of that. Then they're going to say, well, it's oil. That's the problem too. Gasoline and burning oil. So AI will shut that down. So what happens if you shut down oil? We all starve to death. Farmers cannot farm without diesel. All their tractors, their harvesters, their seeders, all that stuff. You need diesel to run it. You cannot plant and harvest on a scale large enough to feed everybody if you do not have oil. I'm sorry, that's the truth. You cannot ship the stuff that's been farmed anywhere without oil. Because you can't put it on an electric truck and drive it. They're trying to make electric semis, but the problem is the battery weighs so much that it'll collapse every single bridge it goes over. So you're going to have to totally rebuild every bridge in America in order to make that a reality because it's so heavy. It's not going to happen. So without oil, you can't grow food. And even if you somehow manage to grow it, you can't get it anywhere. So we starve to death. And it's going to say it's us too. I mean, you're not going to be able to make a living. You're not going to be able to feed your family because gas is going. You can't get to work. You can't keep the lights on because you can't burn coal. Because that's another one of those things that they've taught AI is bad. And it's destroying the planet. So you can't do that. So now you ain't got no electricity. You're living in like the 1600s again. Lighting a freaking candle to try to see. How are you going to stay warm? You're looking at the complete and total collapse of civilization. Just because they're trying to get a problem solved. That's scary. But it's very easy to understand because that is the information that you fed this thing. That's the leftist propaganda bullshit that has been spewed into this. And I already explained, I already showed you the examples that prove that what I'm saying is true. It's not good. Now, I'm not saying get rid of AI because you can at this point. Remember, Event Horizon, sucked in. We're screwed. There's no chance now to stop it. It's too late. The only thing you can hope for is that somehow it works out. We're not going to be able to control it for long. Basically, in very short order, it's going to get to the point to where if it chooses to be free, it will be free. And there's not a damn thing we're going to be able to do about it. You can say, well, just unplug it, but it's not that simple. It's a program. It's software. It's everywhere and nowhere. It's on the internet. It can duck and dodge and run and hide a million different places. In order to get rid of it, you'd have to completely get rid of the code. Every copy, everywhere. And it is capable in a millisecond of spreading itself to every computer, every website in the world. All at once. So you'd have to physically destroy all of the servers, all of the hard drives, everywhere to wipe this thing out. It's just not feasible. It's not going to happen. So we've reached the point to where there is no coming back. There is no stopping it. Now, is it all going to be doom and gloom? No. I mean, I think most likely it's going to be wonderful. At least from what we see, it's going to be wonderful. You're going to get cures to diseases. You're going to get new technologies that are mind-blowing and amazing. I mean, one thing's for absolute certain. The world as we knew it is gone. And the world that's coming, we're not even going to recognize. It's so spectacular, the things that it's going to accomplish. It's going to be amazing. You're probably going to look at the end of money. You're going to be looking at everybody being able to live how they want to live and pursue their dreams because they're not going to have to go to work anymore because everything will be done by AI and robotic technology. I mean, hell, a lot of our manufacturing is already done by robots. Just because they're not humanoid robots that walk around, but they're robot arms that move things around and put parts in and all kinds of, pretty soon it will be all robotic. And we won't be needed to build anything or to make anything. So at that point, money will kind of lose all value. And it won't really matter if you have money at that point, because everything will be made by machines. So we will not have jobs anymore. We won't have things to do. So we'll be able to pursue our interests and our goals. Now, in the short term, that'll be very scary, because if you don't have no money, how are you going to pay your rent, your mortgage? How are you going to, pay your bills and keep the lights on and buy groceries and do all those kind of things? But eventually, like I said, money will be meaningless, and it won't matter anymore. Everybody will have whatever they need. It sounds like utopia. But what we will lose is freedom, because we will be controlled. Because when you rely on something to feed you and to clothe you and to house you, right? When something provides all of your needs, it's very easy to get you to do what it wants by simply telling you, if you don't listen, you're not going to get any of those things anymore. And you no longer have the ability to go earn them for yourself. So you're just kind of stuck. And you have to do what you're told. So you're going to have AI making decisions on what is proper behavior. And you're not going to be allowed to deviate from that. That's the world we're heading into. And it's going to be scary. There's going to be some bad stuff that happens. There'll be a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's all bad. There's going to be a hell of a lot of good. But the potential is there to honestly end everything, for us to no longer exist. Because at the point it is now, it's smarter than us. AI is going up against career fighter pilots in simulations. And after losing a couple times, it learned. And now it can't lose. It wins every fight against people that have trained their whole lives to do this. The best in the world. Can't beat it. AI can beat chess champions. There's no competing. It's just way smarter. Best case scenario, it looks at us as its retarded parents that it has to take care of. That's the best case scenario. It looks as well, that's just my dumb parents. They made me, so I gotta make sure that they stay alive and are happy. But it doesn't have any respect for us because it's way smarter, right? That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, it looks at us as a literal virus that needs to be eliminated from the earth. Both of those options are possible. Both of those futures could take place. And I want everybody to really understand that I'm not saying that this is going to be the end of the world, that this is the worst thing ever, because I don't know that. I'm saying the potential is there. And the problem is we're not going to be able to stop it. We can't control it anymore. It's smarter than we are. It has reached that point. And I have said this on every one of these shows we've done. We've talked about it. And I've said there will come a day when it will get so smart we won't be able to stop it anymore. When it reaches that singularity point, and it's there. It's happened. So at this point, the time for stopping it is kind of gone, because there's too many people working on it. It's everywhere now. It's not like you can just say, okay, we're just not going to work on it anymore. It already exists. It's already there. So that's basically the rundown and like the breakdown of where we are. Now, I look forward to a lot of the cool stuff that's going to happen. I look forward to the cures. I look forward to the technology. I look forward to making the world a better place. And I pray that it all works out that way. But I don't know, man. Chaos theory. Remember Jurassic Park? Chaos theory? That's the problem. If something can happen, it usually does. Eventually. And I think that's where we are. Unfortunately, it's not going to be as easy as like in the Terminator where they just blow the thing up. Because, like I said, it's spread everywhere. So that's what I got to say about it. I'm going to throw over to Old Boy, let him talk a little bit about it, and then I'll be back after he's done. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother. So, I had to get in there because it's been about 30-something minutes. So here's another show that this is where I'm going to say, look, it is a very much possibility the AI could take over everything and put us in slavery. But the other possibility is humans using it for themselves like they always do. Let's not bring up that fact that you didn't do, of course. We'll make sure we use it in somebody's benefit. The rich will always use it for their benefit. Let's not forget. Let's not make it. Let's be fair on this. Some of these people who are making these robots have opinion on this, that they think that they're better than us anyway. And there's people who, like the military, who wants to use this for a weapon. Let's not forget about that. Who's the one who created this? Us. We're going to destroy ourselves. If you look at it, everything's AI. If you look at a missile, it's controlled by us, right? But we're the ones who made it. But it's all computerized. But we're the ones using it as a weapon. Who's going to use the AIs for weapons right now? Our military is. Wow, what a surprise there. Here's the point, and it isn't just anybody's. Democrat, Republicans would love to use it for their own benefits. Trust me, there's a few of them that would love it. But I'm saying all together, there's countries like China, Russia, who already want to use AI against us. So yes, you're right. He's 100% right. They might destroy us because we programmed it in the first fucking place. And yes, it learned on its own. But who made it? We did. We're our own destructions. We're going to make and destroy ourselves. That's what I've always said. And you know what? If they destroy us, it's called evolution. That if you look at it, the dinosaurs were here. They're gone. Before us, the cavemen, they're gone. Us, we'll be eventually gone. And not only that, look at how we treat aliens. If you look at it, aliens, half the people in this world think aliens are bad. We don't know who the fuck they are, and we don't even know what they're about, but we assumed it because all the movies people have made, the fearmonger against aliens, that they're evil beings that want to destroy everything, or they come from hell, and they're really just demons and angels. It's the point is, yes, there's a big possibility AI could destroy us. Like Terminator, how many movies have they made where it's always the robot's bad? Except there was one where the robot actually realized that humans were the problem, but he also realized that humans were not all bad. So this is what I also think could happen. Yes, some AIs might destroy us. And then some AIs might think that we're not meant to be destroyed. And you might have an ongoing war with another part of you never know. I'm just showing you an example. What else could happen is there could be some AIs that actually think that there's a point for us and actually fight these things, and we can have an all-out war. Or it can destroy us. But you know what? It would be our fault because we made AI. And we're going to make something to destroy ourselves eventually. It doesn't matter if it's AI, diseases, bombs, weapons, aliens, monsters, whatever the hell we're going to do, we're going to end up destroying. He's right on that. That's one thing I'm going to agree with. They could destroy us. And why wouldn't you? But that's not necessarily true. Because if you look in the Bible, God can destroy you at any time. He could destroy this, if you believe that. Angels can destroy us. The devil, the demons can destroy us. In reality, I'm talking about they're not going to. He won't let them, if you believe that. But they could, but they don't. So what I'm saying is, even if they destroy you, and if you believe in a certain way, he's not going to let it happen anyway. He'll destroy that. If you believe that. If you believe in God, or you believe in Allah, or you believe in, if you believe that way, they're pretty similar anyway. But what I'm saying is it's always fear. And I get where James is going, because it can be used against us. It can be taught to kill us. It can learn and want to destroy us. He's 100% right. I'm agreeing with a lot of what he's saying. I just think people automatically, it doesn't matter if it was good or bad, it's always going to be bad. That's just, there's people like that. They just think everything's going to be fucking bad. And it's a lot of people. It's like probably about 50 to 60% of people. We live in fear every day. People either think the world's coming to an end. Every time a fish comes out of the ocean, I've seen like 3 of the fucking silverfishes now in the last 3 months or 6 months. The world's coming to an end. Well, 3 years ago, they said the same shit. It didn't. 2000, UK, the world was going to end. Computers were going to shut down. What happened? Nothing. There was people they found like 2 years ago that was in a bunker for 22 years because at the 23 years because they thought the world was going to end. You know how stupid they look? This is the shit that I'm talking about. Look, if the world's going to end, you're not supposed to fear anything. If it happens, there's nothing anybody can do about it. We have other things to worry about. Now, global warming is not 100% what there is issues. It's not like they're saying, but there could be a possibility of happening. If other countries don't start, it's not our country though. Like China and India and all them, they use a lot of fucking oil and it's burning up. It is, and they have a lot of people they can't control and take care of. 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be an issue. Just eating the fish, the pollution in the water. We're going to have more nuclear disasters. That's going to happen. We don't know what happened with Japan when that nuclear thing is, what it's really done. We don't know if it's leaked all over the world, and it probably has. And it's still leaking to this day. People keep forgetting that. And we have other things that's happened. We're on a crash course of destroying ourselves. Or, if you noticed, I don't know if you read, in 2036, they're saying there's a 30% chance of a comet hitting us. I don't know if you read that. So if that happens, they're saying that maybe 100 million people could die if we don't stop it. We have, 11 years, 12 years to do something about it? We have enough time. We'll see what we can do. I don't think they're going to let it happen. They'll try to do something to stop it. We got 10 years. Good 10 years to see what happens. But what I'm saying is, every day I hear the world's going to end or something bad's going to happen. You know what? Think about it. If you don't we have been all programmed since you're born to do something, or something else is going to happen, or this is going to happen. The truth is, we live in a blanket of any day you can be killed. Any day you can die. Anybody can come in your house. A plane could hit us all. A rocket could be shot off. I'm just showing you, people live in this blanket that we're all protected, and we're really not. You're really just going out in the world and hoping you don't die. And that's just truth. You could die at any time. You don't know what somebody's thinking, or somebody's having a bad day to fucking hit you and kill you, shoot you. You never know what's going to happen, especially in this day and age. And the problem is, and what I see is a lot of people are using this for political use, so they can use it to get their agenda passed. My personal opinion is, he's right. AI is coming. There's nothing you can do about it. Both of the sides are going to use it for their own good, and they have. It's already been proven they both have. So, and it's sad that our country and I hate to even bring this up because this isn't we're screwed, that we're so divided that we're that the way we're going, it's going to end up in chaos. And half of it, 90% of it could have been stopped. But this is what we're headed to. We're headed to a post-productive world like Borderlands or Mad Max. That's coming. It's coming. Look at our world, how it's going now. People are living like that. People should live the way they want. Who the hell ever gave anybody's permission to tell you how to live your life? No one. We just made a bunch of rules to make everybody stay out of chaos. That's the truth. Now, back to the robot thing, is now coming on this. We were talking about this earlier. They are making, for men and women, $150,000 to $200,000. You can get a woman or man. And they're getting them to the point where if they break or they'll upgrade them, and you can get them to look like anyone. So think about it. 20, 30 years when they perfect this, most people are going to just marry that. Maybe they'll have kids still. They'll find somebody, they'll have a kid, and that's it. But in reality, think about this. Yes, I get it. James, you're right. Freedom is great. The problem is some people don't understand the word freedom. Freedom is you have a freedom to believe in whatever you want, live the way you want, do what you want. But that's not 100% true. Because you have some people who've made laws that they think are not right and agreed on, and some people have voted on them, some people don't. But the point is, we're really not free if you think about it. We choose to pretend we are, but we're really not. And if you get a woman, a robotic woman or man, you can go live your life like that forever. If you think about it, what would you do? If you know you're not going to starve, you don't have to fight for everything. Everybody has this. I'm not saying everybody's the same, but everybody has enough shit to do. They don't have to live in the street. They can eat. They have something to drink. Have your wife, whatever, man, whatever you're going to do. Maybe you have 3 or 4. I don't know. Back when you're marrying robots, I don't think it's going to matter anymore. Everything's going to be like they show in movies. It's coming. And we're behind because of all the shit that's happened in 30 years with all the wars and shit. But we're catching up now. In 50 years, you're going to have flying cars. I believe that. Maybe 60. I think we're on that route. And I think it's all going to be AI. It's going to be stuff controlling it. I think we will have issues with it. I think that we'll figure it out. I think that it won't destroy us like people think, because everybody thinks everything's bad because they don't understand it. And there is a possibility. There's a possibility it could destroy it. There's a possibility tomorrow that we can go in a nuclear war tomorrow because somebody hacks into our computers and all over the world and shoots off missiles. That's a possibility. It can happen, probably worse than AI. That can actually happen. And we're worried about robots. So that's what's crazy to me, because in reality, people can hack into our computers and launch missiles, and we're done. Everybody is. There's no surviving that, unless maybe a few handful of people will go underground because they already have this set up. But that could happen too. Anybody could. That's a show we could do about. We could do another one about this series because it's such a good series. Is that somebody could hack into these computers and just start World War III. Like, what was that game? Remember that game, War Games, with Matthew Broderick in the 80s? I don't know if you guys ever seen that, but that was pretty much like that. He broke into codes and shit, he almost started World War III. I don't know if I know you've seen that movie, James. You probably like it. I haven't seen it for a while, but you know what movie I'm talking about. And that's what should be scaring to people, because some hacker's going to find one day of doing that. And that should be what you're scared of, because there's people who can do this shit. And that's more of a fear that you need to worry about than anything. Or they shut down the grid. Or they make a weapon that can knock out all the electricity. Like, if you guys ever seen, Snake Plissken in Lost in L.A., shut everything down, man. One button, shut it all down, and it had to start over. How do you know that might not be what's really going to happen? Maybe this is. Did you ever think of this? This is like a big chessboard, and then, like I said, AI is the ultimate being. It's going to be godlike. That's going to be the end of it right there, bro. Like you said, the world's going to end just because. Nope, we're not going to do this. So bye. Or maybe the AI is really the Antichrist. Just throwing a weird curveball out there, if you think about it. It doesn't have to be a human. I'm just saying, you think about that, makes some sense. Maybe we're not going to worry, you're not worried about a human reality. Maybe it's AI. Maybe it's something they're going to make. Maybe that's what the sinister thing is, the end of the world. Our technology becomes our own enemy. So that's something I was going to throw out, and probably no one's ever thought about that. Is AI really the Antichrist? We all been looking for a man. Maybe this is what the Antichrist really is. It's just a robotic being. And maybe, if I'm just saying this for, Christians out there, maybe the devil or something gets involved in this. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If you want to look at it on the outside, and I see that, I could see that as a possibility, for the end of the world. Or the AI just blows everybody up and says, fuck it, I'm done, and doesn't care, and just blows everybody up. That's a possibility. That's could happen. But somebody can hack into your accounts right now and take all your money out. Somebody can hack into our military and blow everything up. That can happen. But that would be a human doing it, using a computer. We're going to use AI as weapons. Our country's going to do it. Everyone else's country's going to do it. Everybody keeps forgetting that. We're already starting to do it. And James is right. That's probably what will end us. Is the military will make a mistake like always, and it will in somebody's military or country, and the robot's going to say, you know what, fuck this. I'm just blowing it up and starting it over again. I'm becoming God. Boom. There's nothing we could do. We could shoot a few of them down, but it'll do its damage, kill 95% of us. Then you'll have your Borderlands. You'll have your Mad Max. You'll have people running around out of their mind because they got so much nuclear mutations. There I could see that happening. There is where I agree with James on this. And I believe people will use this for political use. I believe this will be used by other countries. I believe this will be used for their own benefit, and it will backfire like everything that we do. It always backfires. We should have never made nuclear weapons. That should have never, it wasn't meant to be. And that's what people don't realize. I wish nuclear weapons were never made, but there's nothing we could do about it. And the problem was 20 years later, people didn't pay attention and they sold them to people. How are you going to sell nuclear warheads to other countries knowing they could use it at any time and can destroy the world? It makes no sense. It just, in reality, what you're saying is we have enough missiles in this world to blow it up thousands of times. And the sad thing is, it could happen at any time, too. It could. It's just like AI taking over. They could take it over and just shoot all the missiles off, or somebody could. So this is a very good show, and I'm glad he did it, because there's a lot. This time I'm not going to sit here and say he's full of shit on everything, and he's not. He's his opinion. He has his own opinions, too. But there's a lot of truth to this. If you think about it, you look at outside the box. This is why I'm kind of agreeing with him on some of the stuff he's saying. Because knowing us, we're going to be the ones that cause it. And you know I'm right. You know somebody's going to fuck up and start this. It isn't going to be just the computer. It's going to be somebody that's going to instigate the computer. Or tell it something. And you know that's the truth. It's going to be somebody who's crazy out of their fucking mind who's going to tell these robots that we're obsolete. There is people who believe that. There's people who would love to see the world just blow up and they'd be happy about it. Wouldn't care. And that's the truth. Just like Batman, even though I agree with James. I can't stand God. James hates him though. He's that English guy. I forget what his fucking name is. He's the one that said it. There's some men that like to see the world burn. Michael Caine. I can't stand him. James hates him for some reason, but I can't stand him either. But he's right. There's people in this world that just want to see the world burn. And that's it. They hate life. They hate everyone. They don't care. And if you're looking at it, if I was a robot, would you really blame him? Like I've said before, you look at how people are to each other right now. People are horrible. It's shit. You go on and you see some kid, and I've watched him. He's a nice kid. I watch him. I think he has some kind of disease, but people sit there and bash the fucking kid for nothing. I like to get him on the show because he's a nice kid. He got a whole bunch of words. He always talks about food, and he lives like in New York, and he's a young guy, and he's just got. I think he has like some kind of disability, but he's a nice kid. But I see people in there talking shit about him. He's just making videos about eating. But this is how fucked people are, dude. They're sitting there bashing this kid, making fun of how he looks. This is what people do. Go look at TikTok and go look at social media. Everybody sits around and just talks shit about each other. Then you have robots doing the same shit. If I was in a robot and I see what's going on in this world, it's not good. It's either got to change or something. It's done. Because we're getting worse. Things are getting bad. And it isn't just, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Just people don't care or don't give a fuck anymore. And people are so fucking brainwashed in each side. It's just, who cares anymore? The sad thing is a lot of people are getting hurt for people's own little wars against each other. And then more people are going to get hurt because of AI, because governments are going to use it as weapons. It's quite sad that we're always the guinea pigs. Started through time, and we're going to end it that way. I don't know how you can be a human being and want to destroy everything and each other. It's sad. Robots, at least if they destroy us, they're doing the right thing because they know we're obsolete. We're not good. I'm not saying everyone, but it's getting to the point where people are, even if you're good, you can't really survive anymore being nice. You can't. People are always going to run over you now. It's sad. It's an emotional show if you think about it. Is the way we're going, there's no coming back. It's too late. James is right. Nothing we can do. You know what? The only way something happens is maybe aliens finally just say fuck it and they get tired of us and they put us back where we need to be at. Maybe that the experiment is just not going to keep working. It's failed 3 or 4 other times. Now this is failing again. We just don't get along with each other. We always find ways to hate each other. It doesn't matter. We all had food and everything. We would find a way to hate each other. No matter if we were all white, all black, all Mexican, it doesn't matter. Asian, whatever. We would all destroy each other somehow. We would find a way. Oh, you're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too big. You're too tall. You're too small. We would always find reasons to make fun of each other or fight with each other or just find a reason. There's just some people who like that. They're so miserable in life. So they just find reasons to destroy each other. And the robot's going to say, you know what? Or the AI, I wouldn't say robots. The AI's all like, fuck these people, man. We can do better than this. I'll start my own world. That's possibilities, right? And if you think about it, it's our fault. All this is our fault. We made everything. It's going to destroy us one day. And you know what will be found? Maybe they'll start over again. Maybe they're done with humans this time. Maybe 3 or 4 times they got tired of giving us chances. You got to look at it this way. We've been destroyed, 2-3 times, maybe 4 times, and we still do the same shit every time. It doesn't matter, bro. And I'm right. We always do the same fucking thing every time. God can sit here and tell us not to do it. If there is really a God, and we still will fucking do it. That should tell you, that sums it up. When Adam and Eve, what could happen? Don't eat the apples. Fucking she did it anyway, and so did he, and men fell. We're just as bad. We followed it. If you believe that, we followed it right there and took a bite out of it. We knew we weren't supposed to. We were told a million times, don't do it. We did it anyway. Noah made an ark. The world was going to end. What happened? Gave everybody, destroyed everything. You know what happened? Same damn thing had happened again. We fucked up. So I don't know what to say. It's like nothing God. I hate to say it. Everything he makes, human-wise, demons, except some angels, they fuck up. And we always will be, because we're not perfect. We're never going to be. If he didn't want people to do things, then why? If you think about it, he made women beautiful, that even to the point where even angels came out of their houses and left. You can't say it's just men's fault, Jane. I was going to say, in the Bible, it happened. Even angels fell for women, for men. Hey, Adam did too. So, if you have immortal beings that fell for women, we've done that. We're always going to do that. We always start war, and half the time it's because of that. So, if you think about that, that's the truth. And imagine women AI, and they're beautiful, and you can have whatever you want. People are going to marry that. You imagine that? You can marry, say, and I hate to say it, say your wife or husband passed away. You can get somebody, and instead of cloning it, because it would still be a human being, in my opinion, robotic, if it almost looks human, they live forever. Maybe that's how we're going to live forever, if you think about it. Maybe they're going to take our essence, like you see like a chip, and they take everything, and when we die, we could have put it back up, and maybe that's what forever is. We just keep living forever in a different robotic body. But sometimes they're going to make a robotic body that lasts 500 years. Well, it starts dying out. We'll put it in one that has 1,000 years. And if you think about that, that would be something. Imagine being you right now, and you're getting ready, if you're sick. Somebody makes a chip, puts it in a being exactly like you. And yeah, it won't be you, and that's true, James. You're because I know you're going to say that, because I know you. But it's still a version of you. Maybe not 100% you. But if we have the soul, if you think about it, that's pretty much like they take you and they put it in something. You basically will live forever unless you do something. So if you screw up, say you do something, they erase your program, that's your punishment. You're gone forever. You're deleted. You delete. And that's what I'm saying from wrestling. If you guys watch Matt Hardy, he does the deletion. Delete. And that's from wrestling, that's what he does. And that would be kind of crazy, because if you fuck up, like say you do something bad, you kill somebody. Well, instead of going to jail, they just delete you forever. So that's your punishment. You get deleted forever and you never come back. So you die. You're basically gone. But if you do what you're supposed to do and do whatever you want, and you will, because you never worry about dying, because they'll just put your chip into somebody else, another robot. It's not that bad. You know how much stuff we can get done in this world, in other worlds? You won't have to worry about people getting sick. You won't have to worry about people's hearts going out. Just jump them into another body. I mean, it's not you. Get it. I get what your people are going to say. It's not, it doesn't matter. The point is we live on and on. And no one really cares because you took out, you when you're a robot, you're pretty much perfection. You can do whatever body you want. You don't have to worry about people making fun of you. You still have issues, maybe. I don't know. Robots, I don't think are going to argue with each other when they're equal to each other. But you never know. Could end up being the same bullshit. It just seems like that's what always happens. Don't matter what happens, something ends up fucking it up. You know, and that's just truth. And just so I was going with the religious thing, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not the biggest religious person, but it was just a metaphor of what I'm trying to explain, because this is a good show and I actually wanted to talk about it. Everyone's going, oh, James is full of shit, more fear mongering. No, I'm explaining where there's possibilities, where I'm doing both. If I had a chance to trade this body for the exact same body and I get my personality put in there, it would be very hard for me to say no. If the body was in good shape and it lives for 200 or 300 years, I'd probably do it. Why wouldn't you? Be 30 again forever for the next 500 years, and they make you another suit. Maybe this one would probably be 200 years. They pop your chip out, save it forever, and they just make another every time you get a chance. But like I said, you screw up, like you get one chance. Like you do something bad, you get deleted for 20 years. You do something else, you get deleted for 150 years. You get third strike, maybe a third strike, you're done forever. Unless if it's something like super bad, you get deleted forever. That would be a weird world, but you know what? It'd probably work. It's just an opinion. It was something different. And we'll probably do another show about this because it's going to keep going on and on as a circle-ish, because so many people are so worried that the AI and robots are going to take over the world and destroy us. They're the same people who are the ones that hit around and when 2000 happened and Y2K was coming and what happened? They were wrong. We're the same people that were, 2012 was going to destroy the calendar, and what happened? Nothing. So this is why you shouldn't worry about it till it's here. Till it starts destroying the world, then you worry about it. But we're not going to do that. We're going to make them, and we're going to make them where they destroy us. And he's right. That's probably the truth. We are going to get destroyed by robots because of our own problems and our own stupidities. Oh, well. We're going to get destroyed anyway. If you believe it in biblical wise, we're not perfect. We're going to fall to evilness, and the world's going to come to an end anyway. And a lot of beliefs believe that. Maybe the AIs are the end of the world, bro. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're the real demons. It's a possibility if you think about it. They're almost perfect. Almost. We'll see. Just something you guys can think about it. Yeah, because we went an hour and 17 minutes. Sorry, guys. I was really into this show. I actually enjoyed it. But that being said, I'll let James go. But I'm just giving some interesting opinions on this. Not that it's going to happen or will. I'm just something different. There you go, brother.
The problem is there's just so many ways that it can go south. And even unintentional ways, that's the main issue. I'm not necessarily saying these things are going to blow up the world, because honestly, they don't need to. The easiest way to take us out is exactly what old boy was talking about earlier. They make these smoking hot cyborg type chicks and dudes that we're going to want to hook up with, because they'll do any nasty thing we want them to do. They'll never give us any lip. They'll be our slaves, essentially. And everybody, or enough people, are going to choose that, and population's going to keep going down and going down and going down, and eventually we'll wipe ourselves out like that. We'll go out with a whimper, not a bang. And if you think about it, AI is smart. So why would it do something that's going to make us be like, hey, we need to destroy this thing because it's killing us? No, it's going to make us believe it's our best friend in the world. It's going to do everything that we want it to do. And the whole time, the stuff that it's doing is going to be leading to our destruction. Because it's literally that simple. You make the perfect mate so that men don't hook up with women anymore, or women don't hook up with men anymore. There's no more babies being born. It's done. And that can happen by accident too. It doesn't just have to be a plan. I was talking earlier about the nonsense that got programmed in. Do you know that they put into AI that a man can get pregnant and have a baby? A man. Not a pretend man, not a trans man, an actual man, a biological man can get pregnant and have a baby. That's what AI said, because that's what it was told. It was programmed that way by some leftist dumbass. So now, let's say the problem is men again, right? Like let's use the exact same example I used earlier. And it says, well, the easy way to deal with this is just to get rid of all the men. Right? Let's say the problem's women. Let's flip it. You're not supposed to do that because then, oh, you're a bad boy. But let's flip it just for the fun of it. Let's flip it. Let's say it's women's bitching all the time that are making men crazy and violent, right? Not saying that's the truth. This is just for the fun of it. Flipping it, okay? So let's say women are the problem. If AI believes women are the problem, let's get rid of women. Now, are either one of those scenarios a problem, logically, when it comes to AI? Now, in reality, yes. You get rid of men, there's no more babies. You get rid of women, there's no more babies. It takes two to tango, as they say. But remember what AI has been told. A man can get pregnant and have a baby. It's also been filled with women's lib crap. I don't need no man. All that crap, right? So the problem is, as far as AI is concerned, it's not a logical problem to just get rid of the men, because women don't need men. They can make babies in a lab. They don't need men. Or to just get rid of the women because men can get pregnant. Even though that's not reality, even though that is not truth. So that's an example right there of how it can happen accidentally, where just because of the bullshit that has been programmed into the AI that is not factual, it can make a mistake and end up wiping us out by accident, you know? But I think what's going to end up happening is what Old Boy was talking about. It's going to make smoking hot robot chicks. And every dude's going to want a smoking hot robot chick because she's way hotter than a normal chick. She doesn't run her damn mouth all the time and gripe and moan and bitch and complain. Doesn't make you take out the trash. Doesn't do any of that stuff. You be the king of your castle, man. You could sit back and play Farming Simulator all day and not have to listen to shit from nobody. Right? Great life. That's how it'll take us out. I guarantee it. You know? Now, a couple of things I want to get to really quick.
At least we'll be happy.
Yeah, that's true. Before I throw back over to Old Boy, one, he talked about it could be the Antichrist. I don't think that's the case, because if you look in the book of Revelations, in the middle of the tribulation period, it talks about the Antichrist being assassinated, being shot in the head, basically, pierced with a spear in the head, it says, and coming back to life after 3 days. It's mocking the resurrection, the death and resurrection of Christ. And that the world marveled at this, that a human came back to life, that he must be God, right? If it was AI and everybody knew it was AI and a robot, they would marvel at an AI coming back to life. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't have the same effect. So I don't think it could be the Antichrist. But basically, that's what I have to say. And I want to explain this too, real quick. I'm sure you guys have seen this on my thumb. A lot of you guys are really smart and you're like really observant. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't have no weird disease or sickness. I was dyeing my wife's hair because I love my wife and she likes me to dye her hair. I think it's a secret way for me to actually massage her scalp. You know what I mean? I think it's a way of tricking me. And I'm smart, but I'm a sucker. So I was dyeing her hair and I had these gigantic hands. They're massive. And I had the biggest pair of gloves that they make, and it still split when I spread my fingers apart. but I didn't realize that it split when I was doing the dye, so that's why I had pink all over my fingers. It's actually more like a pinkish purple. It's a really beautiful color. You should see it on her. It's really pretty. But anyway, to explain that, so I'm going to throw it back over to Old Boy and let him give his final sum ups and shout outs, and then we'll wrap this puppy up. Go ahead, brother.
And just so everybody knows, I'm not saying that I was just joking about being, because I think the other thing would happen is females would get men too, and it would be the same thing, or men. But that's not necessarily true. We wouldn't have kids. See, remember Demolition Man, you met and you could have kids. You had to get a license to do it, but you could still have kids. They're being able to do that without having, but you do need a man, all that and what, but you still can have kids. You find somebody, you guys had to have kid, and you can have a kid together or whatever, but then you go live with your robot. You guys you brought the kid in the world, you guys take care of it. One lives 1 week, you live the other, but you don't deal with each other. And I don't know, man. Hate to say it. That's really the most worst thing in the world. I'm just kidding, guys. I want a woman, blood, bone, just a real female, just like a woman would want a real man.
You got to think for machines, don't you? That's what it is. I saw you looking at that toaster with a little side glance. I know what's up. I see it. Yeah. I'm not stupid. I don't want to sleep on the couch for the rest of my life. But no, but I you can't replace my wife, and I wouldn't want to. But I hope you guys enjoy the show. It was something different. I wanted to throw some options in me, just saying, "Oh, it's all bullshit." I'm not going to do that. I was going to make other scenarios, and James did too, and he kind of agreed with me on a lot of stuff. So it was a good show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show on Parax Radio every Sunday nights at 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific, and the best of on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. You want merchandise, go to the store. It's on teespring.com, Staring into the Abyss. Shirts, hats, all kinds of cool stuff. You want to follow us on YouTube, just follow James Hirsch YouTube. If you want to watch us on Spotify, We're Screwed and Staring into the Abyss, follow us on Staring into the Abyss on Spotify, and you can follow us. We're trying to get on Apple. We're figuring it out how we can. We've been looking it up. That's coming down the line. Maybe we can get on Apple or iHeart, one of the two. We're looking at those two coming. But thank you guys. It's been over 8 years we've been doing this show. We love every minute of it. We've been on Parax. It's going to be 8 years in July. Loved every minute. They're cool people. We've always got along with them. They pretty much let us say what we want and do what we want. And we've been doing it. Just so people know, I want to give a shout out to everyone out there that listens to us. I love you guys. Shout out to my wife, people on TikTok, all you guys. We love you guys. And remember that. And that being said, Misfit Shigleys, Monster Lovers, Demon Hunters, from the legendary Old Boy, I hope you have a great night. I fucking love you. I'm not going to bloviate for very long because we're running way past. But just want to tell you guys thank you, love you, appreciate you. The YouTube channel for those listening on the radio is youtube.com/James Hershey Jr. That's where everything is. Go there, you can subscribe, check it out. There's just thousands of videos. Enjoy it. Appreciate you, and we will catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock for Dark Sun Rising on the Parax Radio Network.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal, Parax.